If there are no questions, then I will
Sir.
start today's class.
Yes, sir.
Okay, just let me upload my presentation. Okay, students, let us proceed with the today's session. This is unit number 15, the contingent theories of leadership. So yesterday we have discussed some traditional theories, which include trait theories and behavioral theories. The main drawback with these theories is that they fail to give us adequate explanation of the leadership. They simply give us an understanding of certain traits which can be seen in leaders or certain behaviors of persons who are effective in their leadership roles. But we can say that leadership success is much more complex and cannot be predicted just by finding some traits or preferable behaviors of some leaders. So that is why the focus of the research has turned towards other factors, which are basically situational influences that are required for leadership success. So we generally find that under certain conditions, certain styles of leadership are effective. For example, under condition A, style X may be effective. Condition B, style Y may be effective. Condition C, style G may be effective. So what are these conditions like A, B, or C, or any other condition? So we need to find out that. So those conditions can include the degree of task structure, the quality of leader-member relations, leaders' own position power, followers' acceptance of the leader's leadership and his decisions, then subordinates or followers' level of maturity. These are all various conditions or situations under which a leader can thrive and ensure that the followers are effective in their performance, and also they get satisfaction from doing what they are required to do. So leadership is a dynamic interaction between the leaders and followers, but in a particular situation. Situations are different from place to place, person to person, company to company, organization to organization. All these situations are very much different. That is why the study of leadership has to include the situation also, along with the behavior or the traits of leaders and the followers. That is the interactive nature of the leaders and the followers and the situation. If we have to understand, we have to understand the changing nature of leader and behavior, the changing nature of leader and followers relationship. Then there is increasing greater complexity of situations the leaders and followers are facing in different organizations and different times, different places under different circumstances. So the good leadership can be enhanced by greater awareness of the factors influencing leadership process. So what is the interactional framework for analyzing leadership? So it contains three essential elements. That is leader, the followers, and the situation. And under the leader itself, personality, his position, his expertise are all included. And in the situation, factors or elements like task, stress, environment, etc. will be there. And under the followers, values, norms, cohesiveness of the teams are the factors that will be need to be looked into. I request all the participants to mute their mic. So based on these various conditions and situations, several contingent theories have come up. So among these theories, we are going to look into four major theories. First one is Fred Fiedler's contingency model of leadership effectiveness, then situational theory of leadership, path goal theory of leadership, and our own very Indian nurturant task leadership theory. These four will be looking into in today's session. Apart from that, we will have a continuation of the next unit also in today's session itself. The first one is Fiedler's contingency model of leadership effectiveness. So what does this theory say? This theory was first created by Fred Fiedler, who published in the book Management and Organizational Behavior Classics in 1993. This contingency model recognizes that leaders have certain behavioral tendencies and specifies certain situations where leaders or their behavioral styles may be more effective than others. Fiedler's model is probably the first and foremost and also well-known contingent theory of leadership studies. So this theory is having three basic elements. First one is leadership styles. Leadership style under this theory can be either task-oriented leadership or relationship-oriented leadership. And there are three situational variables under this theory. They are leader-member relations, task structure, and position power. Together, these two, how they affect the leadership and performance based on the leadership style adopted by the leader. So there will be certain favorable situations and unfavorable situations, and we'll go into those details in the coming discussion. So this basically, our Fiedler's contingency model consists of 4 steps. First, the leadership style is to be determined. This can be determined by using the LPC questionnaire, that is called Least Preferred Coworker Questionnaire. This is administered to the person, that is the person who is to be considered for the leadership position, to understand and identify his leadership style. Then second step is defining the situation. That is, what are the key situational factors? That is, as I already told, leader-member relations, task structure, and leader's position power. Following that, we have to evaluate the situation, what the situation looks like, whether the leader is going to have high control over the situation or low control over the situation to influence the followers and get the results. Then final step is matching the leaders and the situations. So first one is, in some places they have combined and they say that first one is identify leadership style, second is identify the situation, and third is determine the most effective leadership style. Then how to identify the leadership style? Fiedler has given us a instrument called least preferred coworker scale. Under this scale, a questionnaire is administered to the participant, and he is required to think of any particular single individual with whom he has worked earlier and with whom he has the greatest difficulty of working. That means if somebody has great difficulty in working with anybody, and that person will be the least preferred co-worker. So the person is to choose who is this least preferred co-worker and then describe that individual in terms of a series of bipolar adjectives like friendly, unfriendly, boring or interesting, sincere, insincere, like this on a 8-point semantic differential scale, that is 1 to 8. So if somebody is to be rated friendly, it will be 8. If it is unfriendly, it will be 1. Based on these LPC scores, leaders are categorized into either low LPC leaders or high LPC leaders. So how does this LPC scale questionnaire look like? Here you can see. Are all of you able to see?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So this is the scale on which the participant is required to rate the lowest, the least preferred coworker. If that coworker is very pleasant, he would be ranking 8. So if it is unpleasant, 1. So anywhere it can come in between. So starting from 8, it can be up to 1. So he can be rated on pleasantness scale, either pleasant or unpleasant. Like similarly, friendly, the coworker, least preferred coworker is friendly, he'll be rated 8. Or if he's unfriendly, 1. Or he can be rated anywhere in between. So like this, there are several adjectives that describe the least preferred coworker. So on completion of this entire questionnaire, the scores will be added up. So you can see pleasantness, friendliness, tension, distance, coldness, support, gloominess, openness, kindness, agreeableness, trustworthiness. All these are several factors to evaluate the coworker. So how this is interpreted? All these score, final LPC score will be the sum of numbers you circled on these 18 parameters or 18 factors. So it can happen that the scores will be falling in the range of 57 or below, or 58 to 63, or 64 and above. If the scores are falling at 57 or below, he is called a least LPC low scorer. If he is scoring more than 64, LPC high scorer. If somebody is scoring between 58 and 63, then he is just a average LPC. It doesn't mean either nothing. It doesn't mean anything. Neither he is low nor high on LPC score. So once this is determined, then if somebody is having high score, he is under people orientation. And he is having low score, he is having task orientation. You can see that low LPC leaders are motivated primarily by the task completion, whereas high LPC leaders are motivated by maintaining close interpersonal relationships with the followers. Here you can see how they are depicted. If somebody is having high task orientation, he will be a low LPC leader because he's focusing on tasks and less focus is there on people. Whereas a high LPC leader focuses more on the people and relationships rather than the tasks. So therefore, they are also called task-oriented leaders who are having low LPC score. They will be called task-oriented leaders. Who are having high LPC score, they will be called relationship-oriented leaders. So Fiedler further says that while the participant or the leader can be either relationship oriented or task oriented, this being a personality measure, it remains fixed and it doesn't change immediately in the immediate future or whatever. So that's why he says that these leadership styles are stable, and one person who is having a relationship oriented leadership, it will not change into task oriented leadership and vice versa. So he says that relationship oriented leaders are great at fostering team synergy to achieve the goals, whereas task oriented leaders use their organizational skills to achieve goals efficiently. So how do they behave? These task-oriented leaders, that is low LPC scorers, they will assign and clarify the responsibilities. They set goals and deadlines for the tasks and to the subordinates. Then they evaluate and provide feedback on the work quality. Then establishes a well-defined best work procedures and also plans future work activities, how the work is to be carried out, what are the timelines, when it should be completed, what will be the evaluation mechanism and all that. Then on the other hand, leaders who are people-oriented, having high LPC score, they will show interest in followers as if they are human beings, they are persons. He listens to the employees. He makes the workplace more pleasant so that people are happy and satisfied. Then shows appreciation to employees for their performance contribution. Then such leaders are considerate of employees' needs. They have an eye on the employees' needs and requirements at the workplace. So, and the second factor in Fiedler's contingency model is the contingency dimensions. What are these three contingency dimensions? Let us see one by one. So first one is leader-member relations. Leader-member relations, under this leader-member relations, how the relationship is there between the leader and members, that is followers in the team or the workplace. So if the followers are having essentially confidence, trust, and regard in the leader, then it is a good situation. Second one is task structure. How the tasks are procedurized or structured in the organization, that is the task structure. Whether it is having detailed descriptions of the jobs, whether standard operating procedures are established, whether there are objective indicators of task completion. So this is about task structure. Then third one is position power. Under this position power, whether the leader is having the powers to hire, fire, discipline, or promote, or give salary increases to the subordinates. So that is the position power. So of all these three, this leader-member relationship is having the highest strength, highest value, the most important one. This is the most favorable situation, most critical factor in determining the favorableness of the situation. While the third factor, position power, is the least critical factor in determining the favorableness of the situation. So under these three, what we need to understand is the leader-member relations, they can be either good or poor. The task structure can be highly structured or unstructured. then position power can be high or low. So when all these situations are grouped, we'll have 8 major situations, like based on whether leader-member relations are good or poor. Then within the good, task structure is structured or unstructured. Within the task structured thing, whether position power is high or low. Depending on all these, it is divided into 8 situations. So the most favorable situation will be that the leader-member relations are good. There is high task structure and strong position power. So all these 3 positives will give the most favorable situation for the leader so that he can exercise his power and influence to lead the group to effective results. Then most unfavorable situation, all 3 are in bad condition, like bad leader-member relations, low task structure, then weak position power. So when they are tabulated and both the leadership styles are mapped, you can see which leadership style is good for favorable conditions, which leadership style is good for unfavorable conditions. Students, are you able to see the chart clearly?
Yeah.
Okay. What is there on the x-axis?
If you can expand a little bit.
Okay.
Favorable, moderate, and unfavorable.
Yeah. Favorableness of the situation. Okay. Favorableness of the situation is on the x-axis, whereas performance is on the y-axis.
Oh, yeah.
So under favorable conditions category 1, 2, 3 are situations. Situation 1, 2, 3. Under favorable situations, all these 8 situations are grouped into three groups. Under favorable conditions, category 1, 2, 3 or situation 1, 2, 3. Under moderate, 4 to 6, 4, 5, and 6, and unfavorable 7 and 8. So under favorable situation or unfavorable situation, in both cases, which leadership is found to be effective? You can see the dotted line, task-oriented leader. So for these favorable situations, the task-oriented leader will give the highest performance of the group members. You can see that the performance is the good level, whereas it will be low level for the relationship-oriented leader. So similarly, for unfavorable situation also, task-oriented leader, he will give the highest performance through the followers. But in moderate favorable situation, the task-oriented leader is not able to get the maximum out of the followers. Only the relationship-oriented leader, he will be able to extract the maximum and give the best performance from the group. Is it clear, friends?
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Okay.
Yeah.
Third.
Yeah, please tell.
Does it mean that the relationship oriented leadership is best suitable for moderate kind of group?
Exactly. Under moderate situation, that means what? Not everything is good, but something is good, something is bad. Like, for example, you can see leader-member relations are good. Our task structure is high.
Low, high.
So something is good. Not everything is bad. Two things are good. For example, here you see high end.
Sir, what I would like to know is, in real time situation in organizations, which one is the best?
It depends on the situation.
The whole theory is that situation.
It depends on the situation. The condition, whether we have to see in any organization, whether the leader-member relations are good or poor, whether the tasks are highly structured or lowly structured, when the leader is having strong power or weak power. It all depends. Based on these 3 factors, the situation will be assessed. Based on that situation, if it is considered as favorable, then we need a task-oriented leader. If it is moderate, we require a relationship-oriented leader, because That is what is been proved in the research. And whereas even in unfavorable situation, only task-oriented leader is required. I'll show you with an example also. I'll come to that.
Yeah.
Okay. So here it is compared again. You can see highly unfavorable situation. Task-oriented leaders perform better when the situation is highly unfavorable. Why? Leader and group members do not enjoy work together. That is the feature. There is no good relation. Group members are working on vaguely defined tasks. That means tasks are not very structured. And leader lacks formal authority over the reward system or punishment system. So this also is poor. So what is the rationale that a task-oriented leader is successful? In the face of mistrust and high uncertainty among the followers, leader needs to devote more attention primarily to
Sir, voice is not visible.
Sir, we are not able to hear you.
Problem.
Hello, friends. Are you able to hear me?
Hello. Able.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes,
okay.
sir.
Disconnected. I don't know why. Yesterday also this happened. Today also it's happening.
Situation.
Okay. Yeah. So under highly unfavorable situation, the task-oriented leader performs better. Why? Here the leader members already are working together well together. They have very good relations between them. Tasks are highly structured, procedurized, defined. Everything is known to the followers. Then the leader has formal authority over the reward system. So all these conditions are favorable. So what happens when all these are favorable? He is working from a base of mutual trust and certainty among the followers about the tasks and rewards. Leader can devote more time to getting the job done. He doesn't need to do much in this situation. But in moderately favorable circumstances, a combination of unfavorable and favorable situations are there, factors are there. And what is needed here is followers need support from the leader to help them cope with the uncertainties about trust, task, and rewards. So under this situation, the leader will guide and explain the things, how the things are to be done, and will motivate them and ensure that the work is done. So this can be done better by the person who is having a which style? Can you tell me?
Task-oriented.
Relationship-oriented style.
No, the reverse one.
Relation.
Okay. Next. So here, to sum up, in highly favorable situations or high control situations and low control or low favorable situations, in both these situations, task-oriented leader is the best person to lead the team. Whereas in moderately favorable situations, relationship-oriented leader is the best person. So now taking an example, let us say that there is an advertising agency. There is good relationship between the leader and members of the team. Tasks are difficult to determine, then frequent guidance is needed because all these advertisement companies, they need to do creative work. So the tasks are difficult to define. If somebody asks for an advertisement, are coming up with a billboard or flyer, we don't know how to go about. So the followers need support and guidance. Then manager has little reward or punishment opportunity. However, the manager is having weak position power. These two factors are good. Leader-member relationship is good. Task structure is low. And manager is having weak position power. Which one it falls into? This is falling into low, good, low, and weak. It is still not falling in exactly this, but only a task-oriented leader will be better in this situation. On the other hand, you can just take an example of any fast food giant like McDonald's or KFC or any such fast food giant. What happens here? There is little bonding between the people working there. There is high turnover. Then poor relationship between the leader and followers. But however, the work is highly standardized. Then detailed division of labor. Who has to do what? So it is all highly structured jobs. In this situation, who is best? The task-oriented leader. Task-oriented leader can get the work done. Is this clear, friends? Now, I am giving you here two situations like natural disasters, floods or fires, or research scientists. So for these people, for guiding these people, for leading these people, which leadership style is best?
Invention.
First one, natural disasters or floods or fires. You need task-oriented leader or relationship-oriented leader?
Task, because the
Task
tasks are
oriented.
got to be done.
Task oriented.
Very good, very good. Here we require task-oriented leader. Whereas in research and development situation, R&D scenario, you require
Relationship oriented.
Relationship.
Relationship.
he has to foster creativity, support, encourage. So there is no question of tasks are not structured. So it will not be any useful to have a task-oriented leader because there are no timelines. So this is a scientific activity. You need complete freedom. So only a relationship-oriented leadership style will work best here. Then, as we discussed, given a certain situation, whether it is favorable or unfavorable, the leadership style, particularly one leader is there. For example, in a research and development organization, the leadership style is presently is, say, task-oriented leader. Is it matching? Matching to give the highest productivity in a recent R&D.
No, not matching.
Task-oriented leader is there. Is the situation and the leader matching?
No.
No, sir.
No. So, because the situation and leader are not matching, so we have to replace the task-oriented leader with a relationship-oriented leader. That is the requirement. Or the other way also could be done. But in this research and development scenario, we cannot change these three factors. Leader-membership relations, probably we may be able to modify to a certain extent. But we cannot procedurize the tasks. Okay? So, and the position power also cannot be altered much. So here the situation is, situation cannot be altered. So it is better to change the leader. So whenever we are presented with a mismatch between the leader and the situation, either the leader is to be changed or the situation is to be changed.
Sir, there can be a third way, that is, we have to change our leadership style as per the situation also, no? That can be thought of.
That is what I am saying. But Fiedler has clearly mentioned that once a person's leadership style is identified, it cannot be changed. That means if I am a task-oriented leader, in the present given situation, it cannot be changed into relationship orientation all of a sudden. I cannot don two hats and meet the requirement, meet the situation. So he says that leader has to be changed. This is the theory, that is the assumptions and presumptions of the theory itself. The leadership style is fixed. The person having a certain style of leadership, it cannot be changed. Only the leader has to be replaced.
Does it mean that every individual is born with a particular leadership style, or does it mean that since he is accustomed to one leadership style in a particular organization and group, suddenly if he changes, group will not accept? Which way we have to consider this?
It's not a question of whether it's a born trait or acquired this thing. It is based on his, say, personality, his experience, his perception, his knowledge. There are so many factors that go into. Basically, how we have evaluated his leadership style using the LPC. So LPC has clearly told whether he is a task-oriented person or a relationship-oriented person, right? So it cannot change overnight. You have a particular way of looking at the tasks. You have a particular way of looking at persons or employees or followers or subordinates. So it cannot change. They are fairly stable. Okay, so that is why the leader will have to be replaced with a new leader. That is why you are seeing so many organizations changing their CEOs and top level officers, top level management. Why the changes is happening? They understand that the situation and the leader is not matching.
That means it is clear that the leadership style is inborn, means it cannot be changed.
A person's leadership style cannot be changed. They are fairly stable, it says. Today it is task orientation. Maybe after 5 years, 10 years, through my experience, my knowledge, and my understanding, so I may be becoming people-oriented leader. But it cannot happen, say, next day or next week or next month. In the present day situation, I will have to be replaced with a...
Or that Aparachitudu kind of person who changes his personality within a split
That is
second. That kind of
bipolar.
persons will not be there. That kind of leaders will not be there.
Pardon me again, come again.
See, in Aparachitudu movie, the behavior changes in a split of second. Behavior, style, voice modulation, everything. Similar way in real life situation, do we not have leaders who can change themselves as per the situation?
So this theory, all these are theories based on some research. They have found that because it is personality orientation, they say that the leadership style, once it is established, it will not change easily. For example, you go back to the leadership LPC questionnaire. You just see. Now you see one person, you are saying he is a hostile person. See, when we are evaluating, see, the leader is also a member of the group or team. He is also to work with other people. Leader is also a member of the group. He has also to work. Over and above that, he has to lead the team, right? So he is evaluating one of the members of the group. So if somebody, by his nature, says that the least preferred co-worker is hostile, can he become overnight supportive? He cannot change his view of that person overnight. Today he feels that that person is hostile. But when over a period of 4 years, 5 years, 10 years, he has seen a lot of people working, then he understands that he is not exactly hostile. He may be somewhere in 3 or 4. He will rate accordingly. So this rating will have to change. Then only his leadership style is said to have changed. Is it clear?
Right, sir.
Yeah. So what are the advantages and disadvantages of this feedless contingency theory? Advantages are that the theory is fairly understandable and clear to us what are the elements involved. Then it helps us assess the situations, even in our real life working scenario, in our organizations, be it government or corporates, we can assess the situation like leader-member relations, then power position of the leader, then the task structure, how they are there. We can assess the situation. Even the leadership style, we can administer the LPC and understand that. So it is fairly easy to understand, easy to assess the situation. Unlike many other models, it takes situational aspects also into consideration. That means all those three factors we told, they are situational factors that are separate from the leader and follower. So they are taking the situations also, contingencies also into account. That is the advantage. But what are the disadvantages? Like the static leadership is limitation, because the theory believes that the person who is having a certain style is fixed. It cannot be changed. That is a static leadership position, style. Then it is based on subjective assessment. Sometimes the people say that the LPC scores are not very accurate. And there is another problem. If the scores are falling between 57 and 64, his style is not determined. So neither he is task-oriented nor people-oriented. So he may be a misfit. So only one behavior is allowed. That is why it is not very clear whether we can use this theory for identifying the leaders. Sometime later, Fiedler has come up with a different or reinvention of the original theory. This theory he has called it as cognitive resource theory. Yes, sir? Okay. Cognitive resource theory is a conceptual scheme for explaining how leader behavior changes under stress levels that impact the group performance. The theory says that leaders' intelligence and experience plays a vital role in his reactions or behavior in the stressful situations. Like in a more stressful situation, one can react without thinking logically. When we are very deeply stressed, this is a common understanding. Whenever we are stressed, our logical thinking doesn't work in a proper manner. So we'll not be able to take correct decisions and rational decisions. So it says how a leader's intelligence and experience influences the way he may react to stress. This theory is focusing. So this theory focuses on four major factors. One is leader's intelligence, his stress, how is he reacting to the stress, his own experience, and knowledge related to the task. All these four are four important concepts or factors in this cognitive resource theory, reframed by Mr. Fiedler himself, along with others in 1987. This is brought subsequently. So this theory says success of leader is dependent on his intelligence level, experience. Then leadership success is not based simply on cognitive or intelligence capabilities only. Stress also affects the decision-making ability of the leaders. So what does this theory predict? In certain situations, having greater experience but lower intelligence may still help and result in high-performing groups where there is high stress condition. In high stress conditions, what we need is experience of handling the situations. There, the intelligence may not play very much role under high stress situations. But under low stress situations, intelligence can definitely play a vital role. The people can come up with innovative, creative solutions to deal with the condition. And again, high level of experience may account for usage of old solutions when creative solutions are more apt. Because of his experience, he always looks back to earlier solutions which have worked rather than going for creative solutions. So that having experience can be a good thing also or a bad thing. It has both positives and negatives. Then this theory predicts that whether a person of a certain type will be able to lead in a stressful situation or not. This theory helps placement of persons in leadership position by suggesting that people be tested for their intelligence and also the ability to manage or cope with the stress, in addition to assessing other leadership qualities. apart from all other leadership qualities, intelligence is also to be tested and ability to manage the stress also to be tested. Then it differentiates the abilities of a skilled labor from experienced labor. Both are different. Skill is different and experience is different, and which will be useful where. Then this theory helps in understanding the role of intellectual abilities and organizational performance in solving the task. Both intellectual ability and organizational performance in solving the task we can understand using this theory. So you can see here a leader's intelligence and experience influences his or her reaction to the stress. The stress level can be higher or lower. Whereas whenever stress is low, intellectual abilities may be effective. That means he can come up with creative and innovative solutions. Here, experience may not be very much effective. Whereas in high stress situations, intellectual abilities may not be effective. His leadership experience will be only effective. Research is supporting this theory. So here we can see one example. For example, here HR head is there. When he is leading the HR function, you can see how intelligence, experience, task knowledge.
Sir,
Yeah.
can you expand it? It is too font
Okay,
size.
okay.
Yeah, expand it.
Okay. So at the top is HR head.
Yeah.
Then you can see when the stress level, for example, which one he will use when the stress level is high or low, whether he will use intelligence or experience. So when the stress level is high, for example, they are bargaining with the unions due to a sudden strike. They want pay hikes or some improvement in facilities and benefits. So in this high stress situation, he will previous experience of handling the similar strikes will be very much useful. Because it is sudden strike and crisis situation, only previous experience will help. He cannot think of new situation, new methods of solving this problem. And in case of low stress level situation, like dealing with some disciplinary issues or making a disciplinary policy, intelligence is required here. So what kind of disciplinary action to be taken, how to draft the policies in a more effective manner. Here intelligence is being used. It depends on the nature of stress, whether it is high or low. And depending on the stress levels, intelligence is used or experience is used. Similarly, you can see task knowledge. HR teams carries expertise in working job portals for hiring. So how to design the job portals for getting the employee CVs, future employee CVs, how to screen them and all that. Their task knowledge will be helpful. So this way also the cognitive resource theory can be used. Any questions up to this? Okay, friends.
No,
Shall I
sir.
continue? Yeah. So coming to the next theory of leadership, situational theory of leadership. Under this theory of leadership, it is given by Hersey Blanchard. Situational theory. This theory says that followers' readiness is important. The more ready the followers, the readiness is nothing but whether they are willing and able to take up the tasks. If the followers are more ready, then there is less need for leaders' support and supervision. Then this theory emphasizes leaders' ability to judge the followers' maturity level and use appropriate leadership style. In the previous discussion, one of our students was asking whether the leadership style cannot be changed given a situation. But here in this theory, it is taking into account, and it says that the leader can adopt a particular style to meet that follower's level of maturity. This is an improvement over the previous theory. So this model is answering two questions, important questions. Whether there is an optimum way for the leaders to adjust their behavior with the different followers, thereby increase the likelihood of success. That means whether the leaders can adjust their behavior based on the maturity of the followers. Then what factors the leader should base his behavior on? Whether it should be based on followers' intelligence, personality traits, or values, preferences, or their competence and skills. So these are the two important questions it is trying to address. So as I said, readiness. What is readiness? It is the ability and willingness of the followers to take up the responsibility. Whether they have the ability to take up the task and complete, and whether there is willingness of the follower or the subordinate to take up the task. Both are very important. Then we can see that under job readiness, knowledge and abilities to perform the job without a manager structuring or directing the work. That means on their own, independently, they should be able to take up the work. Then that is called job readiness. Then psychological readiness is self-motivation and desire to do a high-quality job. This is reflecting the readiness. So under this style, there are basically 4 styles. Here, are you able to see?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. At the bottom, this table consists of, this graph consists of 2 sections. Under the bottom level, you are seeing the readiness of the followers. So what are the features of readiness of the followers? It is also called maturity of the followers. The followers should have what? Ability and willingness to do the job. Okay. So that there are 4 kinds of abilities of the followers. Under R1, that is readiness of the follower. Readiness is denoted by the letter R. So R1, R2, R3, R4. Are you able to see?
Yes, sir.
So under R1, the
Unable and willing.
followers are unable and unwilling. That means they don't have the ability and they are also unwilling. Under R2, they are unable but willing and confident. They don't have the ability to carry out the task, but they are willing and confident that they can do the job. Under R3, they are able but unwilling or insecure. They are not confident about the job or they don't want to take up the work at all. That is unwilling. Then under R4, both they are willing and able and also willing and confident to do the job. So under these 4 states of follower readiness, what kind of leadership style a leader should follow? So under R1, which is the best way? It is a telling style. That means that is S1. The style to be followed by the leader is S1. It is a telling style. He will be guiding and directing the followers. In this kind of leadership behavior, it is a high task orientation and low relationship. Okay, he is not bothered about how the followers feel, what are their needs. He doesn't worry about all of them. He will simply guide them how to do the job, direct them, and get the thing done. So that is for R1. In R2, what will happen? R2, what is happening? Unable but willing. So here, what is there?
If unable, you can train.
Unable, you can train. That means you will explain how to do the things and you will persuade. That is selling. So high task and high relationship. Both are high. You are focusing on the task also and also the relationship. So under this condition where there is no ability, the guiding factor, how to do the job, is helping. And also maintaining high relationship, because there is confidence and willingness shown. He is positive to the employee. He is encouraging, guiding. And you see the other situation, like R3. Here, there is ability but unwilling. Ability is there, but unwilling. So here it has to be participating. It has to be encouraged. Ability is there, but unwilling. So by encouraging,
Reward
by problem solving, so participating model has to be followed, and the follower is to be encouraged to complete the task. Then the task will be completed and performance will be high. Next, last one. This is the best situation. Like the employees are able, they are willing, they have the confidence in completing the job. So leader doesn't have to do anything much. He has to simply observe whether the things are going as per the plan, and simply he has to delegate the task, delegate the responsibility, and keep monitoring. Nothing is much is required. So low relationship and low task. So based on this based on this follower's state of readiness, the leader will display this kind of behavior. So when we are seeing this, it is presumed that all the followers are in one particular state as of now. So over a period of time, they will be moving from R1 to R4. Maybe after 6 months or 1 year. At present, they are in R1. After certain time, they will come to R4. So the leader will change his style from telling to delegating. So slowly it changes from doing taskmaster to relationship oriented. Okay. In fact, can you relate this S4 style to any of the leadership styles which we discussed yesterday?
Delegating style is relationship oriented.
Low relationship and low task. In managerial grade, it is 1-1. Do you remember that?
Yeah, impoverished.
Yeah, impoverished managerial style. Yeah. Right? And also under this Iowa leadership studies, like democratic, autocratic, and laissez-faire style, which one this style reflects?
Laissez-faire.
Laissez-faire style. Okay. So you can just correlate and also try to remember the leadership styles.
No, one point, sir.
Yeah, please.
In the lucky situation of R4,
yeah,
where both are good, then the leader will generally assume delegating.
Exactly.
You said. Correct. But delegating, you also mentioned, I have a view there, the delegating of work and delegating of responsibility. Now, my view is, you can only delegate the work. Responsibility, however, always remains with the leader.
Yes,
he cannot absorb of his responsibility.
Sir, but though the leader takes the ultimate responsibility, because he is delegating to get the job done, the first level of responsibility will still be with the person to whom it is delegated. He cannot disown and say that for all my work or failure, you are only responsible. The ultimate responsibility will be with the leader. That is why in the government, they fix the supervising failure. That is why they fix the responsibility on the supervisors. You know it very well.
No, right, that's why I mentioned. Yeah. We also see the literature of delegating as a leadership style. Responsibility cannot be delegated. Say, delegation means a part of work which my subordinate can do, I will give it to him. Exactly. And I will do higher order things.
Yeah, I understand.
That's the point.
I correct myself that responsibility cannot be delegated. The work can be delegated. Task can be delegated. That is the point you are trying to highlight. You are right.
Authority, power can be delegated. Yes. That is the point, sir. Thank you.
Yeah, exactly. You are right, sir. Thank you. Thank you for the correction.
Thanks.
Okay. Next. So the followers' readiness, we have seen that followers' willingness and readiness, willingness to work, ability and willingness, both put together is called the state of readiness or maturity. So the readiness is not an assessment of individual's personality or traits or values, age or anything. It's not a evaluation of any personal characteristic. It is simply the ability of the person and willingness to work, willingness to perform the task that is being evaluated. Next, maturity levels. This we already discussed from R1 to R4. These are the 4 levels of maturity or readiness of the followers. Then leadership style also we have discussed already. So let us just have a quick look into this. Like delegating style. Under this delegating style, team members to be responsible for certain tasks or to lead the subgroups. This style is best suited where the team of high maturity employees, because it requires team members to be both confident and capable. In a participating style, it focuses on sharing ideas and decisions. Leaders using this style, they will be able to involve the mature team members, but lacking the confidence, but they need one-to-one mentoring. Then selling style involves leader attempting to sell his ideas to the group persuasively by giving task-related instructions. This suits moderate level of readiness. Then telling style is used with explicit directions as to how to do the things and what are the timelines, how to complete it. Clear directions are given. Then also supervision is also done by the leader. So this style works when they are unwilling and unable to act independently, but they are capable of working. Then this slide tells the same thing. So here you see the interactional framework of the 3 elements of the situational leadership theory. We are discussing about the leader, the follower, and the situation. Like leader is deploying either of these 4 styles. Then the situation, what is the task to be completed? Then followers, what is their level of maturity? That is what we are seeing. So when there is situation, like for example, there can be when the situation is bad, when the situation is not helping, there can be problem with any of these 3, like the leadership style problem or followers readiness is the problem or the task nature is problem. So then what to do? So you can improve the thing. How you can do if it is a leader focused intervention? By sending the leader to a leadership training program to enhance their strategic thinking abilities. So this is related to leader-focused intervention. And follower-based interventions, how it will be like implementing a mentorship program where experienced senior employees guide the new recruits or newly joined people, helping them to navigate the challenges and how to do the work. This is follower-focused intervention. Then situation-focused intervention, modifying the situation itself. How that is being done? Restructuring a team to ensure clear communication and efficient workflow. That means either communication can be improved, or the team members can be trained, or the team members can be changed. All these things are also possible with reference to the situation. These tailored interventions ensure that there is a right balance between the support and challenge necessary for development at different stages in diverse contexts of workplace. So this is just an example. You can just go through. then where this model is applied. So the first thing is leader has to identify the readiness of the followers, which is lying at the intersection of two variables, either task-oriented behavior, or which calls for guidance, or relationship-oriented behavior, which calls for support and guidance. Support. Then choose the appropriate style that matches with the state of readiness. S1 telling style. This style is supported over any of other situations. In almost all situations, this style is supported. Selling, there is no research evidence that it support any particular style, a particular situation of the followers. Under participating, this thing, often it is assumed to be the best, but research indicates otherwise because insecure followers may respond negatively to participation. They are not confident, so they are responding negatively to the participation opportunity thrown up by the leader. Then delegating. Followers are becoming willing to accept more responsibility as other leadership styles become more effective. So that is all about the situational leadership of Blanchard. Then what is the conclusion? Though this theory is attractive, it leaves some questions unanswered, whether this theory will work. There has been very limited testing of this model. Then Hersey and Blanchard has not given sufficient evidence that predictions can be made from the theory or which style is the best. They have not been able to give sufficient evidence about the working of the theory in finding the leaders and their effectiveness. Next, we are coming to the path-goal theory of leadership. In path-goal theory of leadership, the duty of the major task of the leader is to just assist the followers. So this theory explains that leaders can help the followers along the path by selecting certain behaviors best suited to the followers' need and also to the situation. And by choosing these appropriate behaviors, leaders increase the followers' expectations of success and satisfaction. So the expectancy theory is also brought into the picture. Leaders' actions should strengthen the followers' belief that if they exert a certain level of effort, they will be able to accomplish the task. And if they accomplish the task, then they are more likely to achieve the valued outcome. You remember the expectancy theory we studied in motivation? So here the theory discusses how leaders motivate the followers. Then it says that effective leader will provide or ensure the availability of valued rewards for the followers. That is the goal. Then help them to find the best way of getting there. So the path also is enabled by the leader. Along the way, they may face certain roadblocks, but the leader will be able to identify and remove them and also avoid any dead ends. If there is any dead end they have reached, they will not be able to accomplish the task or they will not be able to reach the goal. That is why it has to avoid the dead ends. And the leaders will also provide the emotional support as and when required to the followers. So in path goal theory also, there are 4 styles of leadership, very similar to the leadership styles under situational leadership. Here, the directive leadership, it is about telling the followers what they are expected to do, how they are to do, when it is to be done, how their work fits into the work of others. This also includes like setting the timelines, establishing norms, that is structuring or procedurizing the tasks, and providing expectations that the followers will adhere to the established procedure and the regulations. Then the second style is supportive leadership. This style includes having courteous and friendly interactions with these followers, expressing genuine concern for them, their well-being, and looking into their individual needs, being open and approachable to the followers for resolving their issues. Then participative leadership style. This marks the consultative and group behaviors. And here the leader shares the work problems with their followers. He solicits their suggestions, understands their concerns, takes their recommendations. And while he's taking a decision or making a decision, he weighs all those inputs from the followers. That is called the participative leadership style. Then achievement-oriented leadership. Here, the leader is expected, he is behaving in such a manner that he is demanding from the followers also and supporting in their interactions with the followers. First, what he will do, he will set a challenging task for the challenging goals for the groups and follower behavior, continuously seek their improvement in the performance, and also ensure that followers always perform at their highest. This is based on the expectancy theory. So, as regards the followers, what are the characteristics the followers should have? The followers may be having locus of control. Locus of control we have discussed in earlier, friends. What is locus of control? It is the perception of the person having control over completion of the task, whether he is having control or he is not having control over the things. Then need for affiliation. Then preferences of structure. These three are related to followers' satisfaction. Then followers' perception of their own skills. What is their own assessment, whether they are skilled and able or not. Then what are the situational factors? The task itself, the formal authority system in the organization, and the primary work group at the workplace. Each of these factors can influence the leadership situation in this theory. So to graphical presentation, you can see leaders' behavior style. It can be directive, supportive, participative, or achievement oriented. Then within the followers, they may be having internal locus of control or external locus of control and their own perception of the abilities. Then environmental factors. What are the characteristics of the task? What is the formal authority system? And what is the primary work group? What is the situation there? Based on all these factors, the outcomes will be there. Whether the employees or the followers are satisfied with their performance, whether there is role clarity, whether there is goal clarity or not, and also the performance, how they are performing, whether they have been able to complete the task and achieve the goal or not. So what is the hypothesis that is evolved out of path goal theory? So among these styles, directive leadership style, it is there is evidence that satisfaction and expectancies of the followers is realized. And there is this positive correlation with the directive leadership when the tasks are ambiguously structured. In these situations, directive leadership is useful because the tasks are not well structured. So directive leadership will help. The leader clarifies the job to be done, how it is to be done. So in this situation, directive leadership is useful. Negative correlation with the structured works. When the tasks are structured, there is no need for any directive leadership. That is why it is negative correlation. Then under supportive leadership, the satisfaction of leadership is established or proved. then this kind of leadership is useful or successful in stressful or dissatisfying tasks or frustrating tasks. Here, the followers need a lot of encouragement and support from the leader. That is why supportive leadership is required. And participative leadership, when the tasks are non-repeating, that is, there is no repetition of tasks. Each time new situations are coming, new tasks are coming, then participative leadership, where the leader is consulting the followers, taking their opinion, taking their suggestions into picture, that kind of leadership will be helpful. And achievement-oriented leadership based on the followers' expectancies, that is successful. Then this is bound to give high performance in case of ambiguously structured tasks. Here, even though the tasks are ambiguously structured, achievement orientation, that is the belief of the leader in the follower that they can complete the job and they will be able to get their valued goal, valued reward. So then there will be high performance. So what are the weaknesses of this theory? Subordinate performance might be the cause of changes in the leadership behavior instead of the other way around. If the subordinates are not performing well, the leader's behavior can change. It is not the other way around. This is the problem with this theory. This has resulted in development of only a few hypotheses, not many are developed. Then inconsistent research support. Research has not supported so many assumptions in this theory. The research has so far tested only a part of the model, not in full. But what are the strengths of this theory? This is an attempt to indicate which factors affect the motivation to perform from the followers. Then this also introduces situational factors and individual differences, like their locus of control, then their belief in the abilities. Like these conditions are also introduced in this theory. This explains why a particular leadership style works best in a given situation. These are the advantages or strengths of the theory. Friends, we are coming to the last part of this session, the nurturant task leadership style. This is also one of the contingency theories, but this is our own very Indian theory. This theory has been developed by one Mr. J.P. Sinha in 1979. Under this model, ideal leader is both nurturant and task-oriented. That means he is both relationship-oriented and task-oriented, because following only one style is not suited to Indian conditions. Under Indian conditions, some guidance is required for the task-related activity also, and also some kind of support and guidance is also required in the nature of consideration and relationship orientation. So this leadership style revealed in leaders takes care of their subordinates by being considerate and affectionate. The nurturance is contingent upon task performance. So however, you can see that the leader will support and guide the follower as long as the follower is ensuring performance of the task. He is completing the task. Then the leader becomes benevolent if the subordinate is task-oriented and works hard. Right? The leader is very affectionate and caring for the subordinate if the subordinate is task-oriented and is working hard. So under this nurturing task leadership, paternalistic and parentalistic approach is part of a leadership process, which is also found in many non-Western countries. Like it is taking a paternalistic approach. I think there is some spelling error. Paternalistic approach, like a father figure, they are supporting the followers. Where this is ideal for supervising non-committed employees for task completion. So this clearly says that the nurturant task leader is a way between authoritarian leader and a participative leader, or task-oriented leader and relationship-oriented leader. So what are all the qualities that a nurturant task leader should have? He should be extrovert, he should be active, should be strong, firm, independent. He should be strict. At the same time, he should be strict with the work, task completion. He pushes these ideas through being though dominance. Then he also should be encouraging. And whenever the employees or followers are able to complete the task, they should be appreciated. This is the Indian style, you can say. This is one of the popular leadership styles given in India. This is also studied in our own country, because Western models do not suit us so much. That's why this leadership style has been suggested. So this is all for today, friends. Actually, I wanted to complete the other topic also, but I think I have taken more time by including more slides. Maybe I'll try and see. So we'll continue with the leadership studies last part in the next session, that is coming Saturday.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very
Sir,
much.
one request, sir.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
Could you please share that PDF, sir, in chat box?
Already shared, no?
But I was attended late. That I'm not able to got it, sir. Could you please resend again?
Okay, let me see. I think it should be able to available to all. It is not like that.
No,
will
those who
send-
attended late, they were not able to.
I'll share.
Chat box
will
में able to
Yeah, you can download it.
chat box.
So those who
Open
attend
the-
late, they were
open
not
the chat
able
box.
to
I
download.
sent it again now. You can just see.
Yes, yes.
Okay.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
No, sir, it is not available.
Not available, sir. Could you please
No,
share?
it's just getting uploaded. Only after it gets downloaded, you can disconnect. Okay, it is come.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.